real good reasons for all the things I've done. And regret is just a memory written on my brow, and there's nothing I can do about it now.
I'd like to thank Willie Nelson for bringing us in again for a live Monday Mornings with Mitch iteration on Thursday, which is confusing, I know, but we appreciate you guys joining us. We are going to chat it up with some pretty cool folks about this Bills-Broncos matchup coming down the pipe at Mile High Stadium in Denver. 4:30 Eastern kickoff, 2:30 Mountain West. Casey, how are you, buddy?
I'm great. These live shows, man, they really get you going. If anything, it's like an addiction, Mitch. And if you have a good addiction, I don't care what anybody says, just stick with it.
Casey, we'll talk off screen about your home life.
Talking about live shows, buddy.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, listen, let's just dive right into it. We got two killer folks. We got Pat Spinosa from Like a Farmer podcast, and he's a rabid Bills fan, really tight with the Allen family. Awesome guy. If you don't know much about Pat, go check him out. Like a Farmer podcast. And from the Bills organization, you can catch him on Sundays in the booth doing his thing. He was a 9-year NFL vet, Pro Bowler, and also co-hosts. Well, not doesn't co-host. He hosts his own podcast, Centered on Buffalo podcast. It's a great podcast. I've been on a few times. It's a hoot. Let's get these boys on to chat about a little Bills-Broncos. Pat Spinosa and Eric. Boys, thanks for joining us, man.
What's going on?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can
we
hear you
can.
great. And we can
Okay,
see
just
you,
making sure.
which is
All right.
Yeah.
something else,
Look
too.
at that bookshelf. You upgraded the background and everything since the last time we had you on.
I did, man. A lot of great stories behind the bookshelf too. But
What's the Giants? What's the Giants ball?
Giants, we've got to Pat. Keep doing your thing. 2-time Super Bowl champion, Mr. Justin Tuck, and it's such a flex that you can put
nice.
like your number of Super Bowl championship rings he won. What a great human being that guy is. And let me tell you something. You think about Justin Tuck, you have that type of career, and then you go into Goldman Sachs, and he's a monster when you think about a financial advisor too. Very, very just smart human being. Unbelievable human being.
He's humongous. He would scare the shit. He would scare me to death. This is what you should do with your money. Okay. Mr.
Mitch, was
Tuck.
he out of the league by the time you got in there?
Thank God.
Okay, so we played them the year they won the Super Bowl when they had Strahan and Tuck, and who else was on that line? Pierre-Paul was a rookie, and then they had someone else they had a whole group of pass rushers up front. You just hoped you played them Sunday at 1. I mean, they were all veteran players, and they would kind of pick and choose when they tried hard, but God forbid you played them on a primetime game. Good luck. They're all going to make the Pro Bowl on their 4 primetime games a year, and then 1st and 10 play action on a Sunday at 1, they're chilling.
Yeah, no, it's cyclical. Like there's guys that were getting out right when I got in. Like I think of a Geno Atkins or some of these guys that were just like they'd feast on your soul, and then you catch the tail end of like a Haloti Nada or something like that. And then, dude, I don't know what it was, but like by the end, like that last year in Jacksonville, when I first got in the league, I feel like there was 1 or 2 dudes you'd catch every month or so that were insanely good. And then by the end of it, it was just like everyone was putting their hands through my soul. Everyone was kicking my ass, and I was like, it was time to go. But
Either they're getting better or your body's deteriorating.
no, it was definitely the latter. I mean, you catch yourself. I don't know about you towards the end of your career. I mean, not you because you were still chomping the bit and playing well, but I caught, dude, glimpses of myself in film. I'm like, who is that fat ass just whiffing on blocks? Man, it stunk. Well, boys, you both had feet on the ground for last week's game. E. Wood, you were in the booth. Pat was a foot soldier slumming it up with the posse of Bills Mafia that were there. Give us your respective thoughts on that last week's game.
Well, just real quick before we dig into it, I know you have a lot of relationships both ways. Was there any part of you that was rooting for some of your former teammates with the Jags, or were you all in on the Bills?
This is a great time to bring up our first sponsor, Takova's Boots. Takova's Boots is the boots you want to wear. And if you don't like boots, there's Dano's Seasoning. Dano's Seasoning is the best seasoning to use. To answer that question, yes, there was I wasn't cheering for guys actively to beat the Bills, right? But inherently, whenever you spend time with folks, even if it's for a season, dude, like you garner these relationships that are so intense and yeah, like there was a sense of mourning that was going to happen regardless of who won and lost that game. Now that being said, I mourned quite less after that outcome.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Pat knows I chickened out and just hunkered out of the house.
No, I respect that.
With my father-in-law. Yeah, I mean, they're good folks, but it looked like a hoot. Looked like a blast.
So the atmosphere is incredible. After the 2017 season where we played the playoff game down there, I had played in Jacksonville a few times, and we rarely even had to use the silent count for those regular season games. We get to the playoffs and it's Duval. I mean, it was a wild atmosphere back then, and it was great again. They show up in the playoffs, that's for sure. Not for all regular season games. And to their defense, we weren't very good either at the time, so it wasn't a, destination game for them of the season to go out and watch the Bills-Jags play at the time. So that's not me taking a shot on the Jaguars fan base by any means. But they showed up for the playoff games, and it was loud in there. It was loud. The fourth quarter was about as exciting as it gets. Early on, it was kind of both teams feeling each other out. We're not going to make the big mistake here. And then both teams started showing off in the fourth quarter back and forth. And ultimately, maybe the greatest tush push ever, followed by Tre'Davious White making one of my favorite plays ever, as instead of going to just swat the ball to the turf, the wherewithal to punch it up in the air, which people on social media were trying to tell me that DBs can't do that. They don't ever do that. I'm like, the Bills run drills in practice of doing that. That's something they work on daily. When you're a zone team, the best way to get a pick is to tip the ball up because you got guys all with eyes on the quarterback. So it was an awesome game. It was a really fun atmosphere, though.
Did you ever get that high five in the booth? Because that was a pretty cool clip. You were searching for the high five. It was
I know, like
Chris
where
Brown was like, the game's over. And poor Ewood is just looking for some skin-on-skin contact.
No doubt. Yeah, my boy Greg Harvey, our producer, got me. In my defense, for our home games, we have a lot more people in the booth. So it's more celebratory. The road games, it's producer, director, Chris, me, and Spotter in the middle. Clancy in the middle got me eventually, but Greg, our producer, he got me. He got me first. And Chris eventually gave me one. And I don't really celebrate in the booth.
Of course.
You move on in a playoff game in that fashion, and it's your boy Tre'Davious White. I was looking for high fives there.
Dude, T. White put on a display. I mean, I know it's been talked about, the guy gets his flowers, but a dude who, being there when he went through both of those incredible injuries and coming back, and just like, I know he had that self-doubt, took a sabbatical away, coming back it was awesome. But, Pat, I assume you had a little different experience at the Jags game. Maybe you fill us in on that, dog.
Yeah, I think he would hit it right on the head. Like those fans showed out, and look, I think they went on an 8-game winning streak going into that day, and I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good for football to have Jacksonville be a good football team. It's a great sports city. I'm fortunate enough to go every single year to the Florida-Georgia game. Hasn't worked out in my favor over the last few years, but I think Eric hit it right on the head. Like, I want Jacksonville to be good because that is a unbelievable sports city, and they show out for their Jags. And I'm looking for it. Seems like, Liam's brought some energy to that team, and
no doubt.
Trevor's starting to play some better ball. So, look, it turned out in my favor, at least, for the Bills to move on, but it was cool to see. And it's a state team. I'm here in the Tampa Bay area, so I love all of the Florida teams doing good.
Dude, don't be like an SEC sports fan where you're like, oh, SEC,
No.
here we go. You're
Hey,
like,
look, you see right here.
Any school in Florida, any Dolphins, Jags, here
Canes.
we go. Bucks.
You will never see me do that, Eric. You will never see me cheering for the Tennessee Volunteers or the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm just saying, look, I'm an economist. I'm a business guy.
I hear
Good
you.
for the economy.
I'm not gonna lie. When I heard that Pat was at the game, I was waiting for a cutaway shot of him in the pool with a Speedo on and double fisting beer.
Oh, those are your people, Pat, the pool people.
Are you
With
kidding
Florida
me?
man in Tacovas in a Speedo in the pool.
And Chad, we got Tacova slippers now, boys. Those
Oh.
are
Meant for the
Tacova
pool.
suede slippers. But look, to have a pool in your stadium, I'm in.
Two
I go
pools.
down to the Tampa Bay Lightning game, and I got a cigar lounge in that stadium. Like look, we're Florida people. We love it.
I was there. So when they first brought me in for like a visit and they show you the stadium, and it was off season, of course, but they brought you by the pool. It wasn't filled, and they were just pressure washing the pool.
Yeah.
I'm like, how often do you have to do that? And you're like, you don't want to know.
Disinfecting
This pool has got this freak going. I mean, you look at it, dude, like, because I'm sure when you're in the pool, you don't, you feel like you're just on a ledge. So you get as close as possibly can. But it looks like these people are pressing their chest and their crotch against the pool. It's a not flattering shot, but it's really good for football. All right, so guys, I mean, the headlines, it's crazy being on a short week. I feel like the thing that's been hammered the most is the Bills injury report. And, yeah, it's pretty daunting. You're going against another good rushing defense attack, and the Bills might have not performed their best on the run game, with the run game going against that formidable Jacksonville defense. In your eyes, is there something that we're missing? Like, is there another topic or another, like, note-worthy thing? Like, for me, I think Matt Prater did a fantastic job. It's kind of fun seeing him going back in, his health, continuing being a thing. I still think this comes down to a kicking game. Like, what else are we missing here?
No, I mean, who would have thought that Cam Little would be outperformed by Matt Prater in that game? We were so worried about him getting to the game. Who are we missing? Josh Allen playing almost a perfect game last week. And I say almost perfect. I think he threw for over 80% in the game. But to me, he showed off playoff experience, Josh Allen. He didn't force anything early, so he took what the defense gave him. Oh, okay, we're going to have to score some points here late. Okay, well, now let me put my foot down on the pedal and take some shots down the field and maybe put the ball at risk a little bit more, and maybe I'll take some more shots, but I can't just rest on these 3-yard completions to Shakir, but that's what the defense was giving him early, and I just thought he played an incredible game. He needs to protect himself. Good Lord. Come in with a foot injury and go to the injury tent twice with 2 different injuries and bang up your finger. I mean,
I don't know,
dude is walking
like
wounded
a
right
fish
now.
Not to swim. That's just how he puts his foot in there. I mean, sticks his nose in there. It's just crazy. So Pat had an interesting deal where he got to sit with Josh's family for the game. What's that experience like, watching Josh Allen play, going through a game like that, playoffs on the road, blue tent after blue tent after blue tent, coming out being superhero at the end like he always does? What's that experience like?
I mean, it's a roller coaster, man. I mean, you see it. And honestly, I was just so locked in. I rewatched the game last night. And when you see, especially his parents, right? And like, they watched him grow up and played the sport that he loves. And it's just, and they try not to miss a game, and they usually don't. I mean, they are there to cheer on their son and that football team. It's just really cool to see. But at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, like, they know who their son is, and he's gonna play the Josh Allen way, and they know what to expect. But it's an emotional roller coaster. I mean, it's Bills Mafia. They're ingrained into not just watching their son, but they're ingrained into a football team. I mean, guys, I want to hear from y'all. Like, at the end of the day, and I'm just sitting here, unbiased to an extent. Like, I believe not only the team, the organization, the ownership, the fan base, Bills Mafia as a whole. I mean, this is America's team. Like, I think for so long it was the Dallas Cowboys, and now I'm here to say that the Buffalo Bills are America's team. So it's just so cool watching the emotions, not only from Josh's family, but the whole fan base of, like, they want this bad. I mean, what do you say about that, E?
Mitch, you were at Disney recently. I mean, you walk around Disney World right now, and there's Bills gear everywhere, and it's not necessarily people on vacation from Western New York. The Bills are just cool.
Yeah. They are cool.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, being honest, I have loads of stock still in Kansas City and around Chiefs Kingdom, and the amount of folks associated with that organization and that fan base that want the Bills to go for it. I mean, that just shows you that, I mean, there's something infectious about, let's just call a spade a spade. Josh Allen transcends football. He is the face of the NFL right now, and the way he plays and stuff, but also just like the energy and love that these guys play with. And that's kind of coach speak, but you kind of have to. You would, when you're living in Buffalo, like, there's nothing else to do except be with your buddies. I mean, it's
Yep.
either you're at football or you're working out or you're hanging out with your dudes. I mean, Josh has got that compound. He's got people over. I mean, people are doing poker nights and stuff. It's just, and as much as this is a business, which undoubtedly it is, there is something different about walking on the field as a Buffalo Bill with your buddies because you just have a little bit more skin in the game with those folks. But yeah,
It's
I mean,
unbelievable, Mitch. I mean, like, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to see it like on the front row, but it's a mentality when you put those colors on and you become a Buffalo Bill that it's like it's a French. I mean, guys, James Cook got paid and right now might arguably want to be the best running backs in the National Football League. I think it's not like he got paid and it's just like, oh, I'm just gonna kind of hang out. That dude he's a dude. And it's like once you walk into that locker room, everybody kind of takes one step up and elevates their game. I mean, am I crazy here? Y'all both played for the team. It's just like
No, well, and I would say Josh Allen elevates that. Sean McDermott said it after the game last week. Like, of course, we want Josh at times to not take the shots he's taken, but the guys on the team play harder because of the way Josh Allen plays. Yeah. They play with a little bit more reckless abandon in their game because you see your quarterback laying it on the line and not making business decisions over and over. And, you know, to me, I think the main reason that the Bills are cool right now is Josh Allen, and that's not a hot take, but Josh Allen is maybe the easiest dude to root for in the league. And you've seen the success he's had in the playoffs, but not getting it done. It reminds me a lot of watching Peyton Manning over the years where you're just, you know, he's one of the best players of all time. He's just got Tom Brady and the rest of his Patriots, you know, Hall of Famer team lined up on the other side. It's like, but when Peyton won that first one, everybody wanted him to win that one against Chicago. Like everybody was pulling for him because he had I don't want to say waited his turn, but he couldn't get over the hump. And people like that type of story. Yeah. And Peyton Manning, very similar to Josh Allen. And, you know, they're humble, they're self-deprecating, they don't take themselves too serious. I mean, Garrett, my son, you know, has met Josh a few times for his birthday on Sunday. He got a signed framed Josh Allen jersey personalized to him. Like, Josh took the time to do that for a kid in Louisville, Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even play with Josh, and he does those types of things. I say all that, you know, the Bills are cool because of Josh Allen, and people are pulling for him because they want to see that dude get over the hump.
Yeah. You should, like, being in a locker room with this guy, of course he works on making relationships with every single person that walks through the building. Like, just even the little intricacies, like the little relationships that make you feel like, and of course I'm sure now he's at this point of his career where a young guy comes in or a free agent comes in and they're afraid to go talk to Josh because this is the NFL MVP. Right? But he approaches them, makes them feel comfortable, has this pulse in the locker room. And then this guy, the way he shows up, no matter what game it is, if it's week 2 of the season or if it's the divisional round. In 2023, I saw this guy. We were playing another, I think it was Sunday Night Football against Cincinnati. It was a year after the DeMar Hamlin thing happened. So, of course, they put us at a night slate for this game. And this man got some sort of bug on the way to the stadium. They had to put him in a tub. He was shaking uncontrollably. He couldn't even go out for warm-ups. And 30 minutes before, I'm looking at our backup quarterback, and I'm like, hey, man, this guy's a superstar. He's a stud, but you might have to get ready to go. He's like, just give him 5 minutes. He'll be fine. I'm like, all right, I'm telling the boys, I'm like, Josh is dead in this cold tub over here. He's dying. And he comes out like Lazarus, dude. I mean, the man, like any other person, would have given up. Maybe not. I don't know. But he didn't. And just to show that effort, and then he was just, you know, John after first downs doing this kind of dick dance he was doing. I mean, just stuff like that. And it's infectious for your teammates. And tell me that the world doesn't see that. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Hey, gang, we're joined on a live show by Eric Wood. He is the color commentator for the Buffalo Bills, and he is also an avid user of Dano's seasoning. You should give it a shout and give it a check. And we're also joined by Pat Spinosa of Like a Farmer podcast. You can always catch him wearing Takova's boots. Now, fellas, we got a big one coming up. I know it's the playoffs. Every game's big, but yeah, I mean, this defense is kind of the same deuce, different toilet from last week. You got a guy like Nick Benito with 14 sacks. You got a guy like Zach Allen coming off of an all-pro year. He's probably having one of his worst productions. He's still got 7 or 8 sacks. You got other dudes, and you got John Franklin Myers coming off 7 sacks, and in total they have 68 sacks. It's good on good again. Offensive line, defensive line. What's going to be the difference maker in this game, Ewood?
I do believe the Bills are going to be able to run the football more effectively in this one. They need to, early on, you know this, Mitch, early on, they need to get to the quick game in the play action with the heavy protections like they did early against Jacksonville. Make this pass rush for the Broncos think, even if we beat a guy clean, we're not going to get home in time because Josh is getting rid of the ball. And then when they do drop back on a longer pass, they have 7 or 8 blockers. You do that early to frustrate these guys because it's not like playing against one stud in the middle. It's not like playing against Aaron Donald where you're like, okay, triple team him and let's just continue on with our game plan. When you have guys all over the field that can rush the passer, you don't just early on in the game put the offensive line in a situation where you got 3 or 4 one-on-ones. That's just not a recipe for success. But I do think they'll be able to run the football better in this game. And then, Jacksonville tackled really well last week. Denver is actually top 10 in missed tackles on the season. So we'll see with the rest and everything how their tackling is here. But I don't think it's going to be first guy to the football, gets the ball carrier down the whole day like against the Jags last week. Now, the Broncos are top 3 or top 5 in pretty much every major defensive statistical category because they can flat out rush the passer. They play discipline. They're a little like comparing them to Houston. Houston's like, here's where we're at. We're better than you. We're more violent. And God forbid you let us get a shot on you because you're going to be hurting. Not saying Denver's a pure finesse defense, but they'll do some more schematic stuff where you got to identify fronts and, they have a certain amount of confusion. But, you start digging into information on a game like this. The get-off time, like they track the get-off time for defensive linemen. Cooper and Benito on the edge are like number 2 and number 4 in the league in get-off. So, when you're at Denver and you don't have a count, Connor McGovern's got to start mixing up that silent count because they're going to get a quick jump on the football. All that being said, I think it's still going to come down to Josh Allen making a few plays, whether that's with his arm or his legs. And if he plays like he did last week and that efficient, Bills win. If not, we better be able to run the football better than we did last week.
What also opens up, I feel like and I know this is beating a horse dead, but it just opens up the receivers that Josh wants to throw the ball to, which is actually the tight ends. Like that play action pass game is so important. Pat, have you ever spent any time in Denver?
I haven't actually. Believe it or not, I've been through the Denver airport. And
have you read the stories about the Denver airport?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Coming underground. Yeah.
I'm a big conspiracy theory guy, so I've enjoyed that.
I'm taking the week off. I wish I was going to be there this weekend. But because it's going to be a great game. I mean, obviously what E. Wood just said, but I mean, and y'all get this too. You give Sean Payton 2 weeks to get up get a little scheme going, and then obviously now he knows he's going. I mean, it'll just be. I mean, how lucky are we when you think about this? Just the playoff football going on right now. Like I love seeing Denver being good at football, and obviously what Josh and the Bills are doing. Sammy Darnold in Seattle. Come on, guys, you got
what Shanahan's doing with that roster right now.
That's what I'm like, and you've got what Caleb is doing in Chicago now. He's kind of coming onto his own. And who they're playing, Matthew Stafford, that dude. I mean, hell, how old is that guy? And I'm assuming maybe hot take, he might even come home with MVP this year. Like it's just good football.
Yep.
Shanahan. I know Pat. We've talked about this 1,000 times, but Ewood, if you could ever meet Mac Jones, at some point, kid's a superstar.
He's the best.
Is he? Is he a great dude?
He's
the
awesome.
Best.
He is a good dude.
He's awesome.
It's kind of because he's unapologetically himself because he'll get these tailors and fashionistas and he'll dress up to the nines. He has his Mac 10 chain that he wears, and from afar you think, oh, I'm gonna hate that guy.
Right.
Everything about me, I hate that. And then you have a 5-minute conversation with the dude. You run through an effing wall for the guy. He's fantastic. Ewood, question for you. It just seems like for the run game for the Bills, I would have told you before the season their bread and butter was going to be weak side, outside zone with a backside cutoff. Aaron Cromer. It seems like they are running through the tackles this year. And is it because of 41 in the backfield? Like, is it because you guys? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so Jackson Halls, who they brought in, rookie out of Georgia Tech, Cromer told me after training camp that he may be the best blocking tight end he's ever been around in his life. Ooh. And that's him as a rookie. Now he's an old rookie, but so they have him, which is essentially why they don't have to use Alec Anderson as a 6 offensive lineman as much. But Jackson Halls is actually kind of sneaky in the pass game. Like, he's a viable target. He's not just running the route. Josh will hit him too. Josh got confidence in him, knowing that he won't drop the ball. He might not get a bunch of yards after the catch, but he ain't going to drop it. And so because you have him, you're getting it's almost like 2 tackles next to each other at the point of attack. They knew they wanted to lean into more 12, 13, and 22 personnel for those watching. 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 13 personnel, 3 tight ends, 22 personnel, a fullback, and 2 tight ends. And so they knew they wanted to get heavier this year, and defensive's gotten smaller. Okay, we're going to be able to pound teams, and then Kincaid's kind of like having another receiver, and Dawson Knox even to an extent. So doesn't just mean we're going to run the football every single time. Last year, they had a bunch of success running mid-zone, which throughout my career was generally inside zone or outside zone. You're either, running at the guard and bending it back, or you're trying to go off outside towards the tight end and then cut it back. They've been running mid-zone, and I guess it's just because the tackles are so good. And James Cook liked that. He saw the vision better using that, and then, they mixed that with their duo and some of their counter trap stuff. So they're not pulling the tackles as much either anymore because they use Jackson Halls for that role, and they'll get him on the move and just let him be a battering ram there. And so to me, it's just classic Cromer. Okay, what are the strengths of our group? Okay, we got this new shiny piece in Jackson Halls. Okay, well, now we don't have to pull our tackles as much and stress them out as much. Okay, we got an awesome fullback. Cool, we're getting 22 personnel, and it's a similar plays for the offensive line. It's generally about the same calls, same assignments, and same technique. It's just a bunch of window dressing on the back end of it. So all that being said, I know it's a really long answer, but I think they've had just a ton of variety with the run game this year. And then a lot of it's matchup specific to where, there was a game this year where we repeated a play 29 times. And before the game, Cromer was like, we're just going to run this till they can stop it because we don't want to run at Cam Hayward, but we think Jackson Halls on TJ Watt is a pretty good matchup in the run game because if TJ Watt tries to jump around on either side, he's going to get washed out of the hole by Jackson, and then there's your gap. And so it's very game plan specific. I would assume this week a lot of it would be between the tackles because we have a pretty big size. I know this doesn't always equate to we're going to crush them off the ball, but we have a pretty big size advantage, and they are very fast on the edge. So I don't think it's like a loop the defense type of game.
The size advantage is nuts. I've seen that thing, and the biggest thing that stood out to me was that they only had Dion listed at 315.
315?
315.
Wow.
And, yeah. I mean, he's a little bit. I mean, he's not 315. He's not 315. Pat, I got a question for you. So from the outside looking in, you got a team coming off of a short week. That being said, they've gotten some playoff football under their belt, and then you got a team in the number 1 seed who's got a bye week. I mean, inherently, you think that's a good thing. Is there anything you would say is the deterrent for having a first-round bye, in your opinion?
I don't know. And I've actually been thinking about this today, and y'all playing at the level that y'all played at probably know better than I. And honestly, I think you start seeing this a little bit in the college football playoff of sometimes if you've been playing for so long, you just want to keep playing ball. Mm-hmm. And sometimes these longer breaks actually kind of hurt you. I do think there comes a point where if you were sustaining some injuries towards the latter end of the season and you get a week or so, kind of like what Josh did, I think, when the Jets came into town, right, that it is nice to get a little bit of rest, but then you're right back at it. But, I mean, I think when you get to December, January, and you're fortunate enough to get to February, you just want to play ball. And it's just all about like, let's just continue to go week. I mean, look, these damn teams, and they got all the high end equipment and everything that they need. They can get right within 2-3 days. So I just think it's nice to just continue to play ball.
I've been a part of 2 first-round buys in my career, both with Kansas City. This was back when the second seed also had a bye. 2 very different outcomes, but we approached the week 2 very different ways. The first time was in 2016. It was my second year in the league. Coach gave us the week. I went home. It was a weird feeling.
Wow.
I know. Coach Reed, it shocked us all, came back, and it was actually the last time the Steelers won a playoff game was against us at home. They didn't score a touchdown. They kicked the field goals.
Wow.
They kicked like 5 or 6 field goals, and James Harrison, I thought, broke my finger after I punched him. Just an absolute monster. Now, the second go-around was in 2018. Very different experience. Coach Reed had us going good on good for 3 practices, pads, and we came out guns a-blazing. Now, that being said, Pat, I do agree, dude. Let's call a spade a spade. Like, you got to get your dudes healthy, and I think that's why you're seeing that their injury reports is only 4 dudes. 2 out, but they were out way before.
Correct. Now, Mitch and Eric, y'all played in Denver.
Yep.
Yes.
What they say about playing in that higher altitude, is that a thing?
That's a great question, Eric.
The question has been asked multiple times here in the chat.
Do you remember playing in altitude, Eric?
Yes, I played out in Denver a few times. I didn't notice the fatigue aspect of it. I noticed the cotton mouth. And I'm running my mouth before every single play, and you're trying to yell over the crowd and communicate what silent count we're on and all that. And I remember being halfway through the drive thinking, I need a drink of water even just to speak right now, just because of how dry the air was. And so that to me was the biggest difference playing in Denver. And maybe it's just a mindset thing to where I was like, okay, you're playing 60 minutes here. There's no subs for the offensive line. So just ignore it. But I played out there multiple times and never, generally when you'd feel something like that, like you'd go out for warm-ups and be like, oh, like Mitch has been there before, I'm sure, where your legs are just a little more tired than normal for a game. And you're like, I don't know why. I did the exact same thing I always do, but my legs are just a little bit more fatigued. You go out for warm-ups and you're like, oh, damn, I'm getting tired. Like when we're like walking through right now, this is going to be a long one, but you're like, there's no getting out of this. I can't go sit in the locker room and say, hey, I'm tired. Sub me out, especially as a center. That it would just never happen. And so all that being said, like the cottonmouth to me was the worst.
I feel like a lot of those fans out there know what cottonmouth is, so it's not just the players.
Yeah, well, there is definitely a scent.
It's from the aggro.
It's just the scent. It's from it's talking about the ag that they do well out there. Pat, the few things about Denver, it was the first time I remember in 2015 was my first time out there. It was my rookie year. It was actually my first time dancing with Toradol. It was a beautiful dance. My lungs opened wide up, and it was great. But the thing that I noticed the most, like E would attested to, is that I find it more of a mindset. Like if you psych yourself out, you're definitely going to feel it. Something that someone told me early on was like, you go out there in pregame warmups and really give it a go, give your lungs a go, like give it a little more juice in pregame, kind of get yourself acclimated to it. And I found the biggest deterrent of playing at altitude was not actually playing, it was the sleep the night before. If you're not used to it, it kind of gets you a little bit. But I will tell you, it's sunny. It's always sunny in Denver. It's like more sun. Some weird statistic, like Denver's got more days of sun than Miami, which is crazy. The fans are insane. And the thing is, if you start sucking on the oxygen, they have a camera all the time on the opposing sideline. And they'll put the camera on there of you sucking the wind down, and the whole crowd just goes nuts and ribs you. It's a really cool place to play. It's going to be a funky, cool place. That place is going to be rocking. I mean, it's playoff football too, but it's nuts.
Yeah, and they've been rested up. And look, a wild card team doesn't. I mean, the last time a wild card team won the Super Bowl, does anybody know when that was?
2010 Packers.
It's the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady. Come on, baby.
Did they host a home game along the way?
Oh, yeah, they hosted a home game, baby. The Super Bowl.
I know. Did they host a home game?
No.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Drew Brees Aaron Rodgers. And then I forgot the third. I mean, I'm talking about he went to the Saints. He went to the Packers. He plays some dudes along that route.
There's something too, getting that energy. You almost get that. It was kind of fun talking to some of the guys before the game at the hotel, and they were just kind of like, "This is a unique experience. We've never been kind of hunted like this or been doubted like this." And you put a little grain in that, but it's got to be liberating going out there and just kind of like, no one's giving us the light of day. Now, Josh, that factors. These teams still probably are feeling like underdogs, but I got a funny story about Highmark Stadium I've talked about before, but you guys ever heard of a polynital cyst? You ever heard of this? It's a cyst on the tailbone. You ever heard of this? I'm sure you've had some friends who've had it. Well, it sucks and it's disgusting. And so my rookie year, I come into the league, I have one, and training camp, Alex Smith comes up to me and goes, "Hey, man, I know you got this thing going on back there, but I mean, it's in Kansas City. It's like 110 degrees for training camp. This thing keeps expressing itself, to say the least." He's like, "You got to do something about this." So, I mean, a trainer would have to tape a legit maxi pad to my tailbone every game because we always wore white pants.
Oh my!
And we go in and we go to we go to Mile High. This is the year that they won the Super Bowl. And we're coming off kind of a stretch of not doing too hot, and we play pretty well. But it's in October, November, so they have the heated benches. And this thing decides to express itself to a certain extent. And the fans are chirping me in the back, and it's the only time I've ever stood up and chirped the fans. And like one of them goes, "Well, at least we didn't poop our pants." I was like, "Poop your pants? What are you talking about?" I turn around, and when these things express themselves, the blood is so dark it looks like you just pooped.
Jesus.
So 5,000 fans right behind us are screaming 61 pooped his pants. And I put the QB towel behind my back, and they're giving me hell. But
you can't hide it.
You can't hide it. So immediately I go, and I'm like, I don't care what happens after season. We have to get surgery on this thing. So, Denver's great. There's some scars for that too.
Great.
Denver's great. What are you guys gonna do if the?
Hey, real quick,
yeah.
Pat. The stat I was going off of was there's been 3 teams in the Super Bowl era to win 3 road playoff games and the Super Bowl. So I'm assuming Tampa played at home at some point along the way.
No, because they played the Super Bowl at home, Eric.
I understand that, but I don't
No,
think they
because it
would
was
consider-
Washington, Saints, and the Packers.
At Washington, at Saints, at Packers, home for the Super Bowl, because it was in Tampa, right?
Interesting.
And then that's probably the only reason why you went back to 2010, because obviously the Giants did it, 08? So
It was Packers
would be-
2010, Giants 2007, 2005 Steelers.
So I wonder if they took the Bucks out of there because the Super Bowl technically was at their home, which is kind of.
And the only reason I'm trusting that is because I knew I read that a couple weeks and I threw it in my notes, and that was from the league stat release. Like that was one of the things the league sent out. So
I was under the impression that maybe the 2021 Los Angeles Rams did, but they did play that NFC Championship game at home when Aaron Donald did the finger back then, because I feel like they played on the road a few times.
Well, then they played the Super Bowl at home too.
Okay, so that'd be the same thing.
Because we had never had a team win a Super Bowl at their home until Tampa Bay Bucks did, and the following year the Rams did it.
Hey, going back.
Dan Harding's trying to help us out. He said Tampa did it at Washington, at Saints, at Packers, so they must be.
They took them out of that list because they played the Super Bowl at home, I bet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember game planning for Aaron Donald?
I do.
Dude, there's no other person that we've had the same game plan for. You talk about sliding for 3 guys. There was no protection rules. There was nothing. There was no sleep. Maybe because he played inside. I assume the same guy, the guys feel the same way about Myles Garrett. But how can you not, for me, playing that dude exclusively when people ask who was the best defender you played against, you always start with excluding Aaron Donald.
Well, yeah, and you're like, well, we don't get a ton of one-on-ones with him. So it's like, True. As a center, you're like, if I got paired up one-on-one against him, that's the toughest. You know what I mean? But we're not facing them a ton. You just hope that you're not the weak link along the front. Because if you're the weak interior guy, you're getting 3rd and 10 comes around. Guys like Aaron Donald get to pick and choose where they want to rush. And if you're the weak link of the 3, you're getting it.
Dude, were you ever around when? Because now, like, these edge rushers will stand in front of the center and they'll do this basketball move.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, as much as you want to dog that, it's terrifying.
It is because they cover so much ground. You know, they're essentially doing a Euro step. They just throw that crossover in to make you look absolutely terrible. But they're covering more ground than we can stay square and move. And then they'll do something with the 3 tech. They'll stunt the DNs inside. They got to occupy the guards to be able to do it too. And then they just try to make the center look like a fool.
Yeah, there are a few guys that happened to me my last year, and I was like, and then because when it happens, it's during the cadence, and then your guards start chirping, and you're like, hey man, you got to tighten this up, or we're going to be all over Sports Center, all over Twitter. Like, please figure this out. Case.
Yes, sir.
We have any questions?
We got some here in the chat. Some related to football, some a little more personal. One person thinks that Mitch, you look like Jason Sudeikis in disguise. Some people agreed.
I appreciate it.
Never heard that before. Someone had asked, who do you think will be the unsung hero for the Bills? And the said person thinks that they will see a sledge touchdown.
Oh, that'd be sick.
In the Jets game, when we were just clowning the Jets in the final game, the section behind the Bills bench was all chanting to get Reggie a touchdown. So then they handed it off to him. He loses 1.5 yards. We take him out, and he gave the crowd a wave. Like, I appreciate you giving me a shot, but I blew it.
Yeah, that's electric. The sledge. He's played so well this year, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know Ricard for the Ravens is insane, but
he only played 9 games. He only played 9 regular season games.
I know he did pretty well in those 9 regular season games. I'll start this off. I mean, I got a little crush on Matt Prater. I just like his story. I like what he's done. He's going back home to Denver, and in altitude, I think he's going to come down and absolutely hammer out some field goals. Hey, riddle me this, guys. Before we go on to y'all's answers, someone was talking to me. Do you guys think that the Jags should have taken the points when they had the opportunity, especially like after that fumble on the kickoff?
I don't know. I just feel like if it's fourth, if it's 4th and 2 or less, and I believe it was 4th and 2, to me, unless it's late in the game and you're going up 10 and they're not going to get 2 possessions, when you're playing against the Bills, you got to go for 7 there. And if you have they were inside the Bills 10-yard line. Anytime a team in the NFL starts a drive within their own 10-yard line, there's a way bigger chance the team that's on defense will be the next team to score based upon their starting field position. So I like them going forward on that one when they were inside the Bills 10.
It's easy to sit here and play the what-if game, especially when things go wrong. I thought it was the right play. And I didn't realize that, maybe this is just me, but his knee never hit the ground, but his shin's an extension of his knee in that regards. It's bananas. All right, boys, who do you think's the unsung hero?
I think the time is now. I think he's used to the temperature out there. Played college ball at Utah.
Okay, I like it.
I just think Dalton
Cole Bishop.
I think Dalton Kincaid has a game. I just do. Now, do I think that, is that going to be the reason why? I think it's going to come down to a defensive stop somewhere within the game that solidifies who wins this game. But I do think Dalton Kincaid has a big game this week.
Yeah, I love the way the defense is playing right now. They are extremely confident right now. They've played very, very well since week 12. One of the best, some of the best metrics in the league. They're getting confidence. I love that. They're playing different because they just have a different confidence because they've seen themselves make plays over and over. And Shaq Thompson solidified the run game a little bit. And these, Deion Walker's getting better and better. TJ Sanders getting better as a rookie. Those guys are developing well. I'll say unsung hero only because his name's not Josh Allen, but give me a big James Cook game, and that not even necessarily just on the ground. you looking at this Denver defense, you can attack the slot, which we did last year against McMillan. They'll be ready for that. Everybody goes after Rodgers, who's opposite Surtain. So of course they give help that way and all that. And hey, Denver, joke's on you. Patrick Surtain shuts down everyone's number one receiver. We don't have one. Take any.
Well, I was about to ask that. Do you think Surtain, does he jump around in this type of game?
He rarely ever. So if you were looking at the Bills receiving core, especially after having 12 catches last week, you'd say, okay, put Surtain on Shakir. Or even Kincaid, but he rarely ever plays in the slot. And now you're talking about, if it's not an obvious pass situation, run fits and all of that for Surtain in there, that's not where he wants to be. So I think he'll be on an outside receiver. They'll just assume that dude's gone and you can kind of work your coverages to help elsewhere. But I think James Cook can get involved in the pass game. Check downs that he takes for 15, 20 yards. Give me James Cook over 110 scrimmage yards receiving and catching in this game. Rushing and receiving in this game.
Hammer it. I dig it. Dude, speaking on like the secondary of the defense, I know we alluded to this earlier, but I would love to see Trey White continue his, I don't know what you would call it, a comeback story, but just his celebration of the game that he's going through right now. This is the this is the goalie academy T. White. This is the guy he's happy-go-lucky, talking about infectious personality like we talked about with Josh, having relationships with everyone on the team. Everyone's got a relationship with Tre'Davious White. Totally. And when things are going well on the field, he's got – it's just, I mean, you could spend a whole podcast on what Tre'Davious White means to me and what this Buffalo Bills team. Case, what else we got, buddy?
Well, we got a couple shout-outs for some unsung heroes in the chat for Ray Davis, Shaq Thompson, and then also just special teams in general play a massive factor in the unsung hero role of this game.
Shaq Thompson has got it going on. You can tell that dude. And I'm not taking anything away from Terrell Bernard because I think he is the lifeblood of this defense. He's a defensive captain for a reason.
He's also been dinged up all year.
Dude, and that happens. Like, there's certain years, Ewood, you can attest to
right,
that.
I'm just saying the times he hasn't played like we've seen him in the past, he came into the season not moving like Terrell Bernard. And for a guy that plays about 230 pounds, if you're a linebacker and you can't move like you're used to, you're going to struggle. That's just the fact of the matter.
Without a doubt. And some years, there's no rhyme or reason. Just you get touched with that injury bug. It's just nothing seems to work out professionally for you. And that's going to happen to every professional. I thought he's handled it with grace, and the fact that we haven't heard, yes, I'm sure there's other things that are killing him right now. We haven't heard a peep from him, and I think that just shows the kind of the stoic leader he is. That being said, Shaq Thompson is playing like an animal in year 11. Him flying, there was that open field tackle in the first quarter last week when I think the drive kept going, but with Travis Etienne in space, that dude's gone. And what he was able to do, I just think he's electric. It's awesome.
We talked about a little bit earlier on the team being able to rest up and have a little bit of more time to get ready for their first, second, whatever on the playoff games. Eric, Mitch, is there a scheme when it comes to the injury report? It is what it is. Y'all understand it. Later in the year, you're going to have injuries, and now in the playoffs, you're going to have more injuries. Like when you have a turnaround, when you think about a Sunday game, I mean, Bills are the first game off this weekend, right? I mean, they're the early game on Saturday. What is the mindset on the Sean McDermott side to get the team ready when you have players are banged up? All of them might be banged up. Like, is it a Monday off? Is it a Tuesday off? Is it how does that even work? Or is it kind of vary per team, I'm sure?
Yeah, that's a great question. Eric can probably give an answer to this too, probably more eloquently than I, but I will say...
I played in a lot less playoff games.
Well, I mean, just speaking on the fact of later in the season, Eric.
Yeah.
Right? There's that certain week where a coach decides to take reps off or make Wednesdays a walkthrough, and that does give you, even if it's in the psychosis of that, that gives you a little bit of extra juice. Now, I think this turnaround, I know the fellows, they practiced, they had a walkthrough and then they had a hats practice with a jog through. Yeah, I mean, there's something to almost just being we have one less day, pour into it. It's kind of like a Thursday night game, Eric, right? You tell your wife before, hey, I'm going to live in this building. And I promise I'll be a better husband once this is over. And kind of take that.
Right.
Of course, the playoff mentality in general encompasses that, but even more in a short week on the road, I think the fellas will be taking care of themselves. And I think Sean, from what I've heard, is taking really good care of these boys.
Yeah, Sean learned to take care of the guys as the sports science got more popular and all that. He was the classic. I mean, and look, he was trying to change the culture in Buffalo in 2017, but if we were able to practice, we practiced. And, you know, they would offer a day off here and there, but it's not like it is now with all the sports science where they're all the vet rest days and all that, which, you know, I give Sean a ton of credit for just constantly evolving in his leadership and his schemes. I mean, he's willing to change. You know, he's not stubborn about his defensive philosophies. This year they blitz more than they ever have. They're so creative in their looks. They used to be, Sean was anti that. It was, my guys know what they're going to do every play. We're very simple, but we do it better. And we know what you do against this defense that we're showing you, so we're ready for it. Like, you're going to have to change what you do because our guys are going to be where they're supposed to. And look, we're so prepared. We know if we show you this look, these are your answers. And that's what made Sean McDermott great. He doesn't necessarily have the horses to do it this year. So now he lets Ryan Nielsen have a huge say in this defensive philosophy, for where now you get out there on a third down, you have no idea where guys are coming from. They're in a 3-3-5 or they're in a 3-2-6, and you have no idea even what personnel is going to be on the field. And I give him a lot of credit for that.
Well, and Pat, I think Ewood can attest to this. Like, by this time of the season, you're not, I mean, there might be one or two plays you sprinkle in that are wrinkles or new plays, but you've hammered these same concepts, gone through. You've seen pretty much every single look at this point. Yes, there's little intricacies, like you're going to add maybe a different shift or motion to the same exact play you've run 1,000 times over. So that also helps in regards to just mentally processing what the coaches are throwing at you. But yeah, Sean is, from what I was there from 2019 to when I left in 2023, I don't want to say a completely different coach, but yeah, his philosophy had changed. He had grown, he had adapted. And I think that's the thing that's kind of pissed me off a little bit about this McDermott slander is, listen, he wakes up every single day and he tries to be a better person, tries to be a better coach. And early on, like, it manifests itself in strange ways. And of course, like, he's on a public platform. We all go through it as people, right? We all go through it as the human experience. Is like you have these things that his are just at a higher level, but he's got the team's best interest in mind. And the thing that I like the most in the past 2 or 3 years that I've seen is just him pouring into the players. Like, if something's not going well, like I was watching the Jacksonville game, you know, there's an out route and the guy got it. It might have been a little miscommunication. Sean was right in the defender's ear, kind of picking him up. Like, that's what you want in a coach. And of course, internally, if you're a coach and things are, you know, the stakes are at their highest, that's when your character shows, man. Like, more than anything, I'm sure he was like, how the hell can you do that internally? But that's not what the team needed. That's not what was going to make this player the best. I just think he's adapted so well and is a tremendous coach. That's what's going to make this game so great.
I think there's something to be said that a coach like Sean and what he's done, you're doing more than coaching a team. You're building a culture. Period. And he's done a great job with that.
And it's a fluid thing, and every year's different. I mean, he would, you know, if you ask, like, if in 1 year you could have the pretty much no turnover from 1 year to the other, you know, same coaching staff and stuff. If you just look at the run game, like, 1 year you're an inside zone team, 1 year the outside zone team. Well, what changed? I don't know. It's the same stuff, but it's just the natural progression of an NFL season, NFL team. A season's a lifetime in this thing, and a guy like Josh is going to live 15, 20 lifetimes in this, and Sean's going to live, you know, just as that, maybe double. Like, it's an ever evolving thing. It's tricky, and for those who aren't into it, it's definitely interesting. But yeah, he's done such a good job, dude. It's great.
For sure. Now he's just got to go get the ring.
Yeah, I know. Case anymore?
It's a rough road. I think we'll end on that one. We just have a little more love in here for some unsung heroes. Milano, a lot of people think.
Yeah, he's been playing great.
Some dumb Broncos fan came in here.
Well, we got a couple of them in here. We got a couple.
It's fine.
You know,
I
Buffalo
respect
is a loser city. They've never won anything, and it will show this week. Go Broncos. Love that.
That's so constructive, dude.
Love that.
Thank you for that. That was great. We can totally work with that, man. That's fantastic. Last question before I let you guys go. Of course, this is Eric Wood. He's in the booth. He played 9 years as a Pro Bowler. He's got his own podcast centered on Buffaloes, and he's putting Dano's seasoning on everything. We have Pat Spinosa, Like a Farmer podcast. Watching what he does on a weekly basis, where he travels, what he does for his brand, for the farmers, for rural America, and he's rocking Tacovas wherever he goes. The last question I have for you guys is, are we getting naked for the Super Bowl parade?
I mean, I'm not getting butt naked. I'm not trying to go to jail for that reason. If I go to jail, it's because me and Bean drank 40 too many beers and did something dumb. But I don't know that I'll get naked. But I've already told Bean I'm security for Brandon Bean.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place to be. He might get naked.
I'll be the guy that has. I will be flying out a tattoo artist, and we're all getting tattoos that day, right after the parade. Are y'all in?
For tattoos or getting naked?
Well, the Bills tattoo. We'll do a Bills tattoo.
Yeah, I'll talk to my wife.
Eric, you're in?
I mean,
dude, it's the Super Bowl for the Buffalo Bills, man.
We'll talk about this. We'll have dialogue. We got a few weeks, and it starts off 4:30 Eastern, 2:30 Mountain West time, Saturday, the first game of the weekend. Divisional round versus.
Who's your
Buffalo
pick,
Bills.
Eric? Are you even allowed to pick? Since you're.
I'm allowed to pick. Yeah, I
think we got to
can't
go in prediction mode here.
I can't go like I can't say, oh, I think the over under is going to cover this and that, but I could say I think the Bills are going to win. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I think it'll be mid-20s to somewhere in the teens. I think it's like a 24-17 game. But I think Josh Allen and the Bills get it done.
I said the same thing, man. I do not think it's so funny. I mean, when you got that number 17 running around the field, it don't matter if he's got one leg, three legs, one arm, three arms. That dude, he will get it. They're gonna score 20 points. That's what no matter what, no matter who's hurt, this and that, they're scoring in the 20s. To your point, it will be a close game. And like I said earlier, man, this is one of the defenses is going to show up and make a play that is going to determine this game. I've got it 21-20 Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
we got a couple scores here in the chat. We got a 20 or 21-17 Bills. We got a 30-10 Bills, and I don't think people really care about my prediction, but I'm going 28-24 Buffalo.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a great prediction.
Yeah, I think they're going to open up the run game a lot better than they did against Jacksonville, which is going to spread out the opportunity to air it out. Josh air it out, and I'm going 28-24 Buffalo.
I'm thinking it's going to be a slow burn to begin the game. You're going to have a rambunctious crowd and a team that's got a lot of energy. That defense is going to be humming at first. They're going to settle in. The Bills are going to settle in. They're going to get that run game going. They're going to attack it. It might not get those chunk yards at first, but it will as it goes on. That being said, fellas, as we've talked about before, we can talk about statistics, which we really didn't in this. It's playoff football. There's some mystique. There's mysticism around it, and that's why I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win 28-21.
Let's go.
Oh, close to me, Mitch.
Oh.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, is that the? Oh, that's the
You
snow.
gotta take your
that's
hat
the
off first,
snowbird?
buddy.
That's the snowbird.
Is it your Lee Corso?
I don't think that
Love
thing
that.
fits you, dog. Thank you for everyone who joined us. Thank you to our guests. Guys, I have such appreciate you taking your quality time away from your family and your friends to come join us. God bless you. I can't wait to talk to you guys in the future and hopefully do something like this again. Thank you.
Let's do it. Go Bills, brother.
Go Bills.
Go
gang.
Bills.
Love y'all. Go
Thanks,
Bills.
fellas.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate
See
you
you guys.
See ya.